know most people.
Michael Fassbender is Epps. Brad Pitt is Bass. Benedict Cumbebatch is Ford. Okay, here I got it.
Paul Dano is a bitch. So, we're here to talk about 12 Years a Slave, which is a pretty big film for this year. It won the People's Choice Award at the Toronto International Film Festival. It's been highly acclaimed basically everywhere it's played, and it's just got a lot of buzz. It's probably a big contender at the Oscars this year as well. My friend Simone and I saw this separately, and
I also saw it at
yeah, she saw it at TIFF.
I saw it twice at TIFF.
Wow, she saw it twice at TIFF. Yep. I saw it just last week.
I was reading something today, actually, in Rolling Stone, and it was like, you don't just watch 12 Years a Slave, you bleed with it. And
Whoa.
I think that, for me, has been the most accurate depiction of how I felt so far.
Yeah, you
watching
really
that
felt
film. It was really, really like emotionally impacting, like hardcore for me. I don't know. Both times I saw it, I cried a lot, which I think has been the consensus among
most
audiences
people.
so far. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has like 98%.
Oh wow!
So it's gonna be a big one. It's definitely gonna be a classic.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, kind of this masterpiece, very landmark kind of film.
Yeah.
I didn't have the same reaction as you did. I did feel, like, very moved by it, and I thought it was very impactful, but I didn't cry. I really went into it thinking I was gonna, like, bawl my eyes out. I'm not sure why it didn't really hit me in that strong of a way, but it did. Like, it was kind of like after the movie ended, it kind of was sinking
it really
with
hits
me.
You. Like, after the movie ended, our audience literally sat there for, like, the whole credits, and they were just like, it's like, you don't know what to do after.
Yeah. At the end, I didn't feel completely overwhelmed by it, because I thought the ending of the film kind of just came out of nowhere, and I don't know, that's just how
It's a true story.
I know it's a true story. I know it's, like, probably accurate, and it's not a spoiler to say that he gets freed at the end, but it's kind of like you're following him, and it's kind of slow-paced, and it doesn't feel like 12 years for me. Like, I felt like we see him with Benedict Cumberbatch's character, who is Ford, and then you see him with Edwin Epps, who's Michael Fassbender, and you only see him with those two people. I'm sure maybe he only was with those two people, but I didn't feel like he was with either of them for such a long time. It didn't feel like 12 years. And then at the end, it's like...
So you're saying that took away from it? I thought the pacing was really good.
No, like,
actually.
it was fine until the end, where it's like, okay, you're free. Like,
no.
It felt like, I don't know.
The ending was really emotional, because he's no, anything, but...
It is emotional, but I felt like it was almost just, you spend so long...
Did you think it was like a
building it up
ending? Just like...
Almost. I don't know if you could see it that way at all, but I don't know, for me, it just felt like he basically... Okay, spoiler. He basically meets Brad Pitt and then goes home. Like, he talks to Brad Pitt's character. Brad Pitt's like, yep, I'll get you home, and then he goes home.
Between when he meets Brad Pitt's character and then when they show him with his family again, that was like one scene in between, right?
Yeah, like, it just happened. Like, it just happens really so fast, so I don't feel like this satisfied. Like, oh my god, he's finally free. Like, in the fact that it's supposed to be a 12-year thing. I don't know if you know what I mean.
Like, he meets him, and then
it seems like
writing his letter, and then
it's basically like, it's so hard for him to get out. It's so hard for anyone to help him to get this letter to his family, and then at the end, it's like, oh, I'll write your letter, and then he goes home. Like, I don't know.
I kind of see what you're saying, but
yeah.
I thought, well, the ending was perfect, basically.
But then you see the impact, because you see his children have grown up since he's been gone. Like, you see that it's been a long time, but... I just felt like it's kind of slow-paced for the most part, and then it's like the ending just kind of comes at you. But
anyways,
yeah,
I think
other than
Steve McQueen did a really good job.
No, I think any other director would not have made like this. I feel like it's such a harrowing thing to watch, but the way he directs it, he's like a visual artist. Like, that's his background, Steve McQueen, and you can see it like in the frames. Like, this one scene that stood out to me.
Oh my god, I was gonna bring this up too.
Okay,
so
no. I'm not sure if we're gonna talk about the same scene. The scene that stood out for me was when they leave him on the... He's like, they're about to hang.
Yeah, no, that's the scene.
Okay, Solomon.
I think that's the scene that everybody goes away with.
Oh, okay, yeah. They're supposed to hang
the way
him.
he, like, directs shots in the film, I think this has become his style now, with, like, the long shot.
Yeah.
It's just so torturous to sit there and watch the scene unfold.
Yeah, but the way, like, it's hard to watch, but it's also beautiful the way he shoots it. Like, I hope I'm not, like, that's not a weird thing to say. Like, it's really picturesque, and it's just, like, watching, like, this painting almost, and it's the scene of him, like, being left on, like, a noose and no one helping him. It's so, like, awful, but it's, like, such a beautiful, like, painted picture the way that Steve McQueen does it. I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
okay.
totally agree.
And obviously there's, like, a lot of people talk about the whipping scenes, which are obviously really difficult to watch, and,
another thing I was reading today, is that Steve McQueen didn't want the film to just be about slavery. Slavery has just become so synonymous with just black and white, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I think he wanted it to be about something bigger, you know, human dignity is the biggest
that's a really
theme,
big theme in this film.
You pick up on in the movie, and not just with the slaves, but also with the plantation owners.
Yeah.
It becomes this fight for, like, who's the oppressed and who's the actual oppressor in the film, you know?
Yeah.
You actually see humanity in Michael Fassbender's character come out.
Okay, a little bit,
with his love story with Lupita.
Yeah.
He's conflicted about his feelings in that situation.
Yeah, I guess, because he does, like, kind of love her.
Yeah, and I think that's the realism that he brought to the film.
I think that's also, like...
These are real people, you know?
Yeah, that's also shown, I guess, more blatantly with Ford, who's Benedict Cumberbach, who's just, like... You want to say he's a nice... Like, he's not really a nice guy, but you see that he's conflicted by the whole, like, slavery. Like, there's the scene where he's buying the slaves, and he basically separates the mother... and
her children.
I forget the character's name. But you can see that, like, he feels really bad about it, but at the same time... He still doesn't want to pay anymore to get all three of them. He knows it's going to cost him more money, so it's like, oh well, that's just how it is.
He still doesn't do anything to, rectify the situation. So
yeah,
I think you can say the same
he's, like, kind of someone you kind of see, like, this moral center more in him, but still at the same time, it's, like, didn't matter.
Yeah, and the same thing you can say for Brad Pitt's character. Like, you can say he's the hero of the movie, or whatever at the end, but he still... is hesitant about helping him.
Acting is incredible.
Yeah, I thought the
all
acting
around.
was perfectly cast. Like, it couldn't have been more perfectly cast. I know Michael Fassbender and Steve McQueen work together
all the time,
but that's because they make magic when they work together. So.
And Michael Fassbender's amazing, and obviously...
And Chiwetel Ejiofor is also...
Yeah, just he carries this film.
He's Oscar buzz around this.
Yeah, like, role. Just all the emotions that he goes through, and just everything.
He really has to play two different characters. Disguise the fact that, you know...
He's actually a free man.
He has to hide the fact
that he can read and write and... Also really impressed by the actress who plays Patsy, Lupita Nyong'o. And
she was really, really good.
Yeah, really good. I mean, everyone.
Sarah Paulson.
Oh
was
god,
so good.
I hate her in this movie, obviously.
Which is good. You
want to hate her. She's just so cold. Her. Oh god. And especially hated Paul Dano for life.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
I can't even I can't believe I've ever watched a movie, like...
He's in two really frustrating
he just looks so frustrating this year. I'm like, get out of my face. Ugh.
He's like this little rat.
He's such a rat.
Step on his face.
Step on him. But anyways, the cast is really great.
They do a really great job at making you hate them, but you feel conflicted about connecting with them, too.
Yeah, it just is kind of weird... moral like you can't really connect with people. It's very much I think that's another thing. It's hard to really connect with this movie. Maybe that's also the emotional thing for me. I mean, you're watching it and it's like a historical thing, and you just have to recognize that this is something that happened, and I guess we feel so far away from it now.
Yeah, that's true.
Or it's not like a movie where you can be like, oh, I understand that, really. It's more like you're shocked by what happened, and, like, we all know this is what happened, but to see it the way that he depicts it, it's more just, like, a shock value, and it's not so much, like, you can really understand or connect with anyone, but it's still, I think, it's
especially since it's not sugar-coated.
Yeah,
like,
it's not, yeah, it's really, like blatantly
Hollywood
portrayed.
Movie. It's not like Gone with the Wind or Django.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think most people will come out of it with, like, this strong emotional response, but for me, as someone who has never experienced anything like it, it's just kind of like, oh my god, like, that's what happened, and that's, I mean, you know, it's a movie, too. It is realistic, but it's a movie. You have to consider that may not be exactly what it was like, or whatever, but it's more, it's hard to, like, really connect with anything. It's more just this, like, oh my god, this thing that's, like, in your face, and it's like, wow. Hard to cope with. So I think some people will be a bit more disturbed by it, because of how shocking it is, rather than moved by it, but I still think it's obviously a super important film, and just done in such a masterful way.
Something that needed to be told in this way, and I think
and Steve McQueen, just like, I think the star of this movie is Steve McQueen. Like, he's
really
so brilliant.
This is definitely his best
movie.
He did Hunger and
Shame. I love Shame still. I still love Shame.
Shame is amazing. But I think those two movies are definitely in his more art house style.
Yeah. This is a little bit more. I think it's a bit more mainstream.
Like, shot at doing like a full narrative story.
Yeah. Like more like an epic.
One scene that also sticks out in my mind too. I don't know if this is another spoiler, but when he breaks apart his violin near the end, I thought that was just complete, like, he lost all hope, and I think that was the one thing that he was clinging to for the whole movie, and when you see him lose it, it's just you really... Yeah,
it's sad. And also, really we're music people, so obviously that movie, this girl's a music major, like...
No, but still, I think that was, like, a pivotal moment, and also when he starts joining in the song at the end.
Oh, yeah.
That really shows that he has accepted, like, where he is right now.
Yeah. Alright, so what do you give the film?
I give it a 10, or an A+.
Okay. I would give it a 9, and I'd give it a 9 or an A. I guess that's still an A+, really, so I guess it's still an A+ grade. But
yeah, it's my first 10 of this year.
Wow, really? You haven't given anything a 10?
I don't generally give more than 2 things a 10.
Well, I think I have maybe 2 10s this year. But that's another conversation. Anyhow, alright, thank you, Simone, for joining me in this review. I'm Adriana. My blog is Fresh from the Theater. And if you've seen the film, please comment. We would love to talk about it. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. Thanks so much.